Today is the day after the hackathon, and guess what? I won! Stay until the end of this video, and then I'll tell you about my experience at the hackathon. Oh, hey there! I'm Jane, and if you've been on this channel before, you probably know that I've spent a lot of time participating in hackathons, and I've won over 10 virtual hackathons online through DevPost or DevFolio. But tomorrow, I'm going to my first in-person hackathon. So let me show you how I'll be preparing for it and how it will go. So the way this hackathon will go, first, we arrive to the location of the hackathon, which is an office building, at 9 a.m. in the morning. And it will be all day long, so it will end at 8 p.m. And roughly we'll have like 7 or 8 hours of coding specifically. And other than that, we'll have like from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. there's breakfast and arrival. From the hackathon itself ends at like 6 p.m. No, actually 5. And from 5 p.m. till 6 p.m. there is presentations and judging. And from 6 p.m. until 8 p.m. there's awards ceremony as well as dinner. So there isn't a lot of time to code, which might be complicated. And the theme of the hackathon is AI-driven solutions to software development lifecycle and the issues that might be with it. So while I cannot start with a programming for a hackathon yet, but I can still like brainstorm ideas and see what I can do and what technologies I would use and just plan out my project in general. That is something I can do even before the hackathon starts. Let me tell you a little story, which might slightly be not related to the hackathon itself, so feel free to skip this part. Actually, the company that's organizing the hackathon, I've interviewed at them before. So they had an open house and I went there, and it was really weird because everyone there were like college graduates and C# developers, C++ developers, Java developers. And I'm just a JavaScript and TypeScript front-end developer. I do full stack, but mostly I love front-end a lot. So I came there and I chatted with some guy there. It was really nice to chat with him. And obviously that wasn't really a right place for me since everyone there were like C# students and college graduates, and I've never been to college. So I was there and I was talking with that guy, and it was just nice to socialize, you know. And then a couple of months later, I get an invitation from LinkedIn from someone, and I'm like, oh wait, I know this person. I'm not sure where from, but I do know him. So I asked him, hey, how are you doing? How have you been and stuff? And then I realized it is the same guy I've met at the open house, and it was like a vice president of the company, like talent acquisition. And so during the open house, I chatted with him. I showed him a few of my works, how I won so many hackathons before, and just like what I did in the past, my experiences and everything. And so he knows about it. And then he asked me to interview for their company, which I was like amazed about. That was so awesome. Because he was like, oh yeah, we don't technically have open positions, but we can like put you in as an intern and after a couple of months actually like get you a job. And I was so hyped for it because seriously, my skills were just enough in order to be able to get an interview without even them having my resume or anything. And so that's how it was. We scheduled an interview. I interviewed at their company, and the interview was going pretty well. It was an initial interview, but still. And it was so fun. Like, it was so good. And the interviewer already started telling me how, oh yeah, so basically once you start working here, those will be your responsibilities. What's a comfortable starting date for you? And I'm like, wow, that's amazing. And then she was like, okay, just to confirm, what school you're going to? And I named my high school because that's where I go. And she's like, so is it a community college or something? And I'm like, actually, it's a high school. Would that be a problem? And she's like, yeah, it will be. And well, it kind of makes sense, but at the same time, I've shared my resume with them later, like before the interview process. So they know that I never been to college and everything, and they still proceeded with the interview and stuff. So it's not technically my fault. And it was still a great experience connecting with them. And that's the same company that's organizing the hackathon I'm going to. And it's the same guy who was like the talent acquisition who initially brought me like to interview with them, who I chatted with at the open house. who will be like organizing the main event. So I find this really cool and I'm really excited to go there. But at the same time, I'm worried because I would need to show my skills and everything. So we'll see how it goes. And now let's get back to preparing for a hackathon. So while you can't start programming before the initial starting date of the hackathon, you can start designing or you can just start brainstorming an idea. So my idea is the sprint planning tools because sprint is the base of the whole software development lifecycle. And if sprint planning goes wrong, then the whole thing will basically be set up to fail. And since it's so important and it's the base of everything, that should be something that people set up just right before getting into the software development lifecycle. So what I wanted to do from the start was the AI sprint planner, which basically the person inputs everything they want to share with the AI, and then it creates the sprint plan for them, which can then be edited by a person. But then I've chatted with few people in the industry, and they said that humans can barely get it right. So if you leave it up to AI, it will just be a complete mess. And so I thought about it, and actually, there are two issues with this. That one was the main one, and the other one was that it just wasn't, I won't have enough time to make that app in like 7 or 8 hours of programming, I think. Not sure, but that's my assumption. So instead, I decided to go with some other idea, which is 4 tools, which I'll implement, like a website which contains 4 tools. And in case I don't have enough time to finish them, I will still have the website with 2 tools or 3, depends on how many I get done. But it will never be an incomplete project or incomplete website because there will be tools I can show. There will be something I can show, even if I don't finish the whole thing. So that's a good part of it. That's why that's a good idea. And another part is, so the 4 tools will be one of them will be running the sprint 1,000 times and displaying the distribution chart of how many outcomes there are based on like the worst outcomes, the best outcomes, and the most likely outcomes, like on the probability chart, like, the distribution of everything. And then say why and what can be improved. Another one is just like any detecting any anti-practices in the sprint planning, which is like vague wording or like missing information. It will just like detect it. As well as one simple one, which is like sprint to sprint comparison. The person uploads 2 sprints. It can be like for the same sprint, just like with small detail changes, or it can be like a previous sprint just to compare it. And it compares risks and the positive sides and what are the chances it works out perfectly. And so those are the tools I will be implementing on my website. So I just came up with the idea and the flow. Also, I've been trying to draw some assets for it. I will show you them in a second. So this is what I have done so far, I would say. But obviously you can't do much because there isn't a hackathon, like the hackathon haven't started yet, so you can make designing and brainstorming ideas, but you can't really do anything else other than that. So I'm excited to go and everything. So thanks for being here. I will show you the assets in a second, which I've drawn for the website, and some of the design plans that I've made, which obviously I haven't implemented yet, but there I will during the hackathon. And after the hackathon, I will let you know how it went. So here are the assets that I drew. I have them all in Figma. So the theme of the website, I want to make it like ducks and everything. So I drew it all and some leaves right here. I also have designed few pages, like this is supposedly will be the landing page, and then there will be like other stuff like navbar, the tools page, and everything. So this is all not done, and the outcome will probably not look similar to this, but hey, there is no issues with designing. I actually like the login and sign up pages a lot here. I like how everything is very ducky and uses the assets just right. So that's a good thing. And so this is it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! So as promised, at the end of this video, I am telling you about how the hackathon went. And how it happened that I ended up winning. So at the arrival of the hackathon, I was so surprised to be the only girls there, as well as to be the only high schoolers. Everyone else there were in college, and some people were out of college, just working in the industry and everything. And I'm in high school, and well, I still was able to get second place, and it was really fun for me. It was really stressful experience because I was trying to finish the project in time, and then everything broke 5 minutes before the presentation, but I was able to get it going and everything. In case you want to see the winning website, you should check out my next video, which I'll post in a few days, about my website that ended up winning this hackathon. So stay tuned, subscribe to this channel in case you want to see that website, and have a good day.